Hey everybody, thank you for joining me once again for another episode of the TamaraTamu Collective, where dreams have no filter. Thank you so much for being here once again. Thank you to all of my subscribers that continue to show up, to view, to watch, comment, let me know what you're taking away from these videos. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so in this video, we are talking about grace, showing yourself grace, showing yourself love. Now, I wanted to do a video on this, all right, but I wasn't sure of the angle to take, so I waited. I just sat on it, sat on the idea. I had it in my content ideas, and now's the time for me to talk about it. And I was inspired to do it now from a conversation, a very insightful conversation that I had with someone about how people in the world treat each other. And the individual that I was talking to was convinced, or I should say is convinced, that there is no love left in the world, that there is no more, people don't show each other grace anymore. It's just gone. And they shared valid views on why they're leaning toward all the love being gone. And I want to share my perspective in this video, but then also tying it into how, which goes back to how we view ourselves in showing ourselves grace first. All right, so you guys, if you've been watching for a while, you know I like to look up definitions of words. So that, what is the definition of grace? What does that even mean anyway? And after the definition, you're going to understand why I use both interchangeably. I know some people don't, but I'm going to use those, grace and love. I'm going to use those words interchangeably in this video. All right. So grace means this. As a noun, it is elegance, beauty, a form, a manner of action. All right. As a verb, it's to favor, to honor, to adorn. All right. Now the word love means to adore. So in my eyes, those can be used interchangeably. All right. So let's get into it. So I'll repeat, the person that I was talking to is convinced that there's no more love left in the world. No one showing anyone grace or compassion anymore. It's void. All right. Now, my view on this is that it's not so much that people are not angry with other people. It's not so much that people are not showing grace to other people. Because how can you show any grace or love to other people if you have not shown it to yourself first? This is how, the way that people are treating some people, not everyone, the way that we see some people treating each other, it's because they have not shown themselves grace. They have not shown themselves love. They have not shown themselves compassion. All right. So how do we show ourselves grace? I'm going to get in. This is layered, very layered. So I'm going to do my best to illustrate this and not make the video too long. It could be a two-parter. I don't know, but let's get into it. So how do we show ourselves grace? Well, we can do this by paying attention to what has been difficult for us. Paying attention to what has been difficult for us. This does not mean dwelling in negative thought. It does not mean in becoming a victim. What does that mean? It means observing. If you have experienced difficulty, whether it was in the past, recently, or even right now, you observe it. You observe it. Not to identify with it, not to say, well, I went through that, so, or I went through, let's use money. Y'all know I love using money examples. Let's say that you lost your money for whatever reason. Not to identify with, well, I must be terrible with money then. Or it must not be meant for me to be rich. No, get out of that. That's not what observing means. Observing means to say, when I experienced losing my money, I felt angry. You're observing. You're not identifying with the money loss. You're not making losing your money a part of your identity. You're not even making anger a part of your identity. You're just simply observing and saying, this happened and I felt this way when that happened. Also, showing yourself grace means to allow yourself to say, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't understand it. I just know I don't like it. I just know it does not feel good. On the inside, on your inside, now you may be saying that out loud. On the inside, it can feel like a tsunami or tornado, hurricane, or any other weather occurrence, okay, that we would rather do without. So showing yourself grace means to just observe what is happening in your body. Observe how you feel. Observe the occurrence. Doesn't mean you're dwelling in it. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do that because they think, well, if I pay attention to it, then somehow I'm just going to drown in it. I need to man up, woman up, be strong, and just push through, power through. Well, the irony in that is that when you ignore all of that, when you're ignoring how you feel, that is causing so much resistance, in turn causing agitation within you. Yeah, you may be powering through, but meanwhile, while you're powering through, that storm on the inside is brewing and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. All right. So back to how, and I just want to throw this example in there. So back to how, people treat other people. I know it's easy to say, when people are acting stupid and destructive, it's easy for us to say, well, they're doing that because they're just crazy. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny it or even agree with it. But I will say, and I know that there is a spiritual undercurrent for everything. What does that mean? Short answer: things happen. We see things go on because within certain people, because when circumstances happen, when things that present challenges that we view as difficult, it's for us to go to reconnect with our spirit again. Our spirit is calling us to something greater, something higher, something transformative, something more expansive. All right. So that's what I mean about spiritual undercurrent. It's never, I don't believe that things that happen there, it's never just what we see on the surface. Okay. So Things happen that we don't understand, and that's okay for us to say that. All right? Sometimes it is not for our ego to understand. But like I said, sometimes it's for us to get reconnected with our spirits so that our hearts and minds can be transfigured, okay, into something greater. And so our soul can be expressed more, okay? And if we don't, and I just kind of touched on this, if we don't go within ourselves, there's an internal agitation that happens, and our avoidance of observing how we really feel can manifest into anger toward other people. Okay? And just outwardly, just, generally speaking, outwardly could mean our demeanor. Now here's the thing, side note. Just because, if you see someone who's not smiling doesn't mean that they are full of anger on the inside. No. But I mean, you get, generally speaking, you know what I'm saying here. There's an internal agitation and your avoidance of not observing how you feel, choosing to just look beyond it and, power through. It manifests into anger towards other people. And you can give off a certain type of energy. All right. So also relinquish your control. That's how you show yourself grace. Well, how? So when we go through going back to difficult situations, our minds are wired to figure things out, to want to figure things out, all right, within a certain time frame. And when we figure things out, then the outcome has to look like this. Well, sometimes a situation, there's no figuring anything out. And if you are trying to figure things out, and it seems like every time you do, it may seem like things get worse, you can feel like you've completely lost control. So we want to feel in control, right? We want to feel like we have control over our lives. So agitation comes about when all of that trying to figure it out with our minds, we don't see anything happening after our efforts of trying to figure it out. So instead of getting out of our minds and connecting with our spirits in our body, connecting with our soul, connecting with our heart, to ask, okay, what is really happening here? To ask, what am I to pay attention to here? To ask, what is the opportunity for my expansion in this moment? You can only ask those questions if you're willing to get still. Stop trying to figure things out with your mind, with your ego, with your logic. Connect with your spirit. And I promise you, if you were to just sit and ask those questions, the answers that come up, first of all, you will be answered, all right? And the answers that come up first of all, they'll come up with ways that you could not figure out, first of all, with your brain, with your mind, with your ego. Because those questions and the answers take you beyond the surface. They take you beyond what you can see with your physical eye. So, when we experience situations where it seems like there's nothing left for us to do, or we don't know what to do, not just with the situation, but with our feelings, that's the time where we can ask those questions. What am I to pay attention to? Where's the opportunity for my expansion in this circumstance? How can I connect with my power more? What is really happening here for my good? But we have to be willing to go within ourselves and connect with our spirit. All right? Another way that we can show ourselves grace, that we can show ourselves love, is to release our need to do anything. This sounds like the same as releasing our need to control. It could be, but I'm separating those out because the need to do anything, I want to present another example. So, how do you do that? Releasing your need to do anything. So how do you show yourself grace? By releasing your need to do anything. By what you say about yourself and about your situation, about what comes out of your mouth about yourself and your situation. Okay? Another layer to that is releasing yourself of the responsibility to get other people to love themselves and to view circumstances from a different perspective or in a different way. And I say this, I present this because I know someone is going to, or maybe not, maybe I just made up this story, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I say that because somebody may listen to this video and say, well, what about those people who don't believe in, spiritual undercurrent, spiritual anything? What if those people aren't even conscious of that? And people just keep acting stupid toward each other. Well, my answer to that is, okay, well, you get to choose what you focus on in the world and how you view people. You get to choose your experience, which goes back to what you say about yourself and what you say about your own life. Are those people out there acting stupid with each other? Do they affect your life? Well, if you view yourself as a goddess, a god, a cosmic being, no. The answer is no. No. You transcend your environment. Environment meaning your neighborhood, your whatever country you live in, any circumstance, you transcend because you are that powerful. You are that powerful. So you are not, if you choose to try and get people to, love themselves and to view other people with love and to view other people with grace and to view you with grace, if you feel you have to go out there into the world and do that, then that's what you choose. But I'm saying, as part of a way to show yourself love, is to release yourself of that responsibility to even do that. Because let me tell you something, when you are showing yourself grace and when you are showing yourself love, you emit that energy. You are powerful enough to walk into a room where there has been chaos. You, because of what you have shown yourself as far as grace and love, you can walk in. The minute you step in, balance has occurred. Where there was once chaos, there is now an order of love. Where there was once even lack, because you have walked in, because what you emit, you bring abundance. And yes, each and every one of us is that powerful. So, thank you so much for tuning in to this video, to this episode, to this juicy episode, to this juicy topic. I know we covered a lot in this. If you have questions for me, please let me know in the comments. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, check the description, or the link that is in the description, that will take you to my one-on-one scheduling options. Also, if you haven't already, go to my website, Iconic by Tamu, where I display my collective, my art, my books, my clothes, my paintings. They are all there for your viewing pleasure as well. I do have one of my art pieces. I just made it available for sale. And I do have a few of my hand-painted apparel items on the site, ready for you to order. So take a look, iconicbytamu.com. All right, and until next time, cheers.